You certainly won't be disappointed.
Alongside Dr. Kelvin.
Leadership that appears unprepared, uncertain, and indecisive in dealing with the coronavirus pandemic.
And Tulu Weeks.
Until God gets a hold of our Premier's life and transform him, he will go from bad to worse.
We are tired of playing politics. We need to see policies that will change the life of people, especially those of us in the diaspora.
Tell me. Carlisle, I want all you in Nevis rally for change.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m., you can be a part of this conversation by calling 669-7312. That's 869-669-7312. Also available on WhatsApp or from the diaspora 917-460-2187.
Every Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. with host Carlisle Powell on 2020 Vision Radio and Facebook.
Do you know what you're drinking? If you are drinking plastic bottled water, chances are you're consuming plastic contaminants, BPA, and other hormone-disrupting chemicals you cannot see with your naked eye. Those empty plastic bottles take up to 450 years to decompose. In the meantime, plastic bottles are polluting the environment. They are dangerous to the planet and our health. The safer solution is to acquire your own Kangen alkaline water filtration system, and you'll never have to buy toxic bottled water again. Help save the planet and drink clean water for less than the price you'll pay for acid plastic bottled water over the next few years. The Kangen technology is the world's most popular, most acquired water immunizer. For more information, you can call or WhatsApp us on 917-207-1307. That's 917-207-1307. Change your water, change your life.
This 2020 Vision Radio 102.1 FM program is being simulcast weekly on the Caribbean Broadcast Network, heard on CBN Superstation 90.9 FM, Go Loud Digicel app, covering the entire U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and CBN TV on Flow Channel 101 and on CCT TV Channel 291. We do appreciate our U.S. and British Virgin Island listeners and viewers joining us for these informative and entertaining programs on 2020 Vision Radio and 102.1 FM.
PICO, the way to go for residential, commercial, and industrial wiring, data, security, UPS, and generator installation. When you need electrical work done now, done right, done at an affordable price, contact Finney's Electrical Company. Call or WhatsApp 665-1916 or email pico_1166@yahoo.com. Pico, the way to go.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are strictly those of the participants and do not represent those of 2020visionradio.com or its advertisers.
Good evening and welcome once again to Tell Me, which means that it's a Thursday evening, and I already see our Facebook numbers going up. It means that people are tuned in. This evening, Dr. Daly and I, of course, we are saying hello to Tulu at home. He's still recovering. But we'll have two special guests in with us this evening for the first half an hour, and they will be trying to convert Dr. Daly and I to Rastafarianism. They're celebrating 50 years of Rastas in Nevis. And I had some conversations with Muntu. So Muntu went to school in Zion, you know, Dr. Daly.
You went to school in Charlestown too?
Yeah, but he went to Zion school too. I claiming him from Zion. Okay, we'll get to that. How are you doing, Dr. Daly?
I am well, thank you. I am enjoying myself, retired, of course. Well, let me say good evening to the two gentlemen. Muntu, my classmate from years back. And we did some what listing together, as you like. But, you know, I do thank the two gentlemen for showing up and celebrating Rastafari with us this evening. But let me say good evening to my big brother Hugh down there in St. Croix, my brother Denny and Twilla up there in New York, And my brother Steve in California, my brother Carl in Atlanta, my two sisters, Evan and Judith, up there in Connecticut, and of course my brother right here in Nevis, Reverend Othniel Daly. Good evening to you guys, and of course my crew over there in St. James, Turkey, Bose, and Gary. You guys are my pillars. I hope you recognize that. And without you, I don't know what I'll do. But thank you for being there for me all this time. Max up in Westbury, I still have your earrings. I don't expect you to wear them, but I still have your earrings. You know, Max would have won the earrings in the last, what do you call it? Raffle we had here.
I gave Mr. Parry his, don't see him wearing them. He said he was going to give his wife, so.
All right, we're going to have a great time tonight. All those on the FM dial, Twitch, YouTube, and of course Facebook, we always appreciate your commentary, your feedback, so please be advised that we are looking forward to that.
And I'm saying hello as well to my big sister Mary. She's up there in the US, getting a little cool, even though she's down in Florida. And to Glenda, the middle sister, Mervet, the youngest and Maria's last child up there in New York. And my brothers Everett down in Tortola, and the youngest of the brothers Trevor here in Nevis, and their families as well. And reaching out and saying hello to Alan Powell and his lovely wife Dahlia. Hope that you're doing well, and all of you who are within the sound of our voices. Let's do the birthdays.
Oh yeah.
Today, Simone Mills. Simone is Loretta's daughter.
Okay.
She's celebrating today. Obi, his birthday is today as well. Annette Francis Gomes, her birthday is today. And strangely enough, today makes 10 years since Chilston has been working with American Airlines. You know, he flies the friendly skies all over the place. And so we want to say happy 10th anniversary to him. My Zion lady, Heidi Tyson, will be celebrating on Saturday. And a big one here. Dene and his lovely wife, Sindrine Twiller. They're celebrating on Saturday, almost 30 years.
Almost 30 years.
Yeah, so we want to reach out to them. Sunday, the 3rd, Lauren Rivers is celebrating. My good friend Charlene Shatter Martin will be celebrating on Sunday. And King Flamingo, his birthday is Sunday as well. On Monday, we have Frank Munzak. And we have Ruthlyn Hill. And those are who I have listed on the calendar. Let me switch over very quickly because I'm sure that I saw something from Ruthlyn. So, yes, Jonicia Hill, belated birthday greetings to her. Her birthday went yesterday. And so those are the ones we have celebrating birthdays. I think Dr. Daly coming up soon. We're going to probably have to give a little 5 minutes at the top of the show so that people could call in and give their own wishes.
That's a good idea. And the gentlemen, you guys have birthdays coming up?
Banshang.
You can learn some new language tonight, eh? Okay. Earth strong and barn strong, not birthdays.
All right. Okay. I will learn. I'm a quick learner.
Okay. Let's do the birthday song.
I know it's earth strong or bird strong, but any which way, we normally invite our guests to sing along with us to wish everybody Earth Strong or Bird Strong Day. Well, so if you feel inclined.
I have a nephew who is in this month, was yesterday, so.
Okay, and your nephew name is what?
Laquanje,
okay.
Maynard.
He's on St. Kitts?
Yes.
Okay. Mont, do you have anybody? Anybody born for you? Pull the microphone closer to you. I don't want to ask how shy you are because I know you're not shy.
I think that I have to play with something underneath here to hear Muntu.
Okay.
Try again, Muntu.
Yes, man, that's it. Better, much better.
Okay. And my good friend Warren Nisbet, how can I forget him? His birthday is coming up on the 5th, which is Wednesday. Warren, celebrate your birthday, your born strong, your earth strong, everything that you want to call it. Okay, let's do the birthday song now.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And as usual, from us in the studio, may you live to be 101 and us 101 minus a day so we don't have to see you go. May God continue to bless you with good health, strength, of course, wealth. All right.
Okay, and let's get right into the Rasta talk. My oldest sister Mary already saying good evening, Rasta bro. So she anoint me a Rasta already. Listen, it's good to see you guys. 50 years of Rasta in Nevis. Time flies.
Let them introduce themselves
Yes.
so we can know exactly what they represent and who they are and all that.
Somebody is calling. We're asking everybody holy calls for at least half an hour. Even if it's a birthday, we'll take the call afterwards. Holy calls for at least half an hour. Yes.
Greetings. Rasta Muntu from the village of Bath. Rastafari started in Nevis. High.
Give thanks, greetings, and I would like to say, acknowledging our elders of the Rastafari commune in the shores of Nevis. My name is Ras Aya, and the Aya is of St. Kitts and Nevis from the Nyabingi Tiakosiado. We just here to give us support in the love.
Okay. Muntu, you want me to play the poem first or we talk first?
You can play the poem.
Okay. You know Ras Muntu did something for Culturama. Well, he's at it again. He did something which is new, which we have. Here goes.
Yeah, songs call It's Not Easy. Long lives Watusi, respect to Rasquailai, who over 50 years ago to Nevis introduced Rastafari. It wasn't easy, but courage overcame adversity and it attracted brethren and sistren from both town and country. Living neighborly, unaware, slowly but surely, I was becoming their understudy. From that time to this time, praising His Majesty. To protect some, not I and I, them form them organization, human ranks and divided nation. So I and I would like to ask these questions. When Rasta was deprived of gainful occupation and their children the rights to education, where was human ranks and divided nation? When I and I was downgraded to 3/5 or less of a human, where was human ranks and divided nation? When single parents was sent to jail for ganja, knowing fully well for the family she was the breadwinner, where was human ranks and divided nation? When Rasta got remanded for a breadfruit and convicted for 2 coconuts, where was human rank and divided nation? When Rasta had a wrong foreign who feel like human, where was human ranks and divided nation? When staff boy and the gang a ill-treat Rasta from mountain to lowland, where was human ranks and divided nation? No, I wasn't uttering nor portraying nothing wrong. But I and I liberty, them just never overstand. All I and I was saying, yes, black people on earth, we do have a sense of belong. I and I here from creation. No, I and I got no ties with England. They are the originators of oppression. Black, and I repeat, black, the creators of civilization. Yes, I and I descendants of Africans who were brought to be bought to the Caribbean, while dehumanizing us, still stealing our invention. We make the eye them know. I and I got our story that started before, not after slavery. And I and I ancestors left us a rich and proud legacy. When I and I said black to Africa was I and I plan, I and I was seen as crazy man and woman. Ha ha! Now they have a committee and look for reparation and repatriation. After all the hostility and all the fight, it looked like I and I was right. From the Caribbean to Africa, them now are half a straight flight. I know say I and I now get the tanks. Now the Caribbean I do business with the African banks. To Jah give the glory. Them now have a whole month to celebrate our story. Look around in the world today. Children dying daily from hunger or murder. Does human wrong or divided nations even got it on their agenda? Gratitude again to Rasquailai and Watusi and all the brethren and sistren who was living it while I was getting ready. It wasn't easy, but I got no regrets treading this journey. Aye.
Well done again, Rasmunto. You got to do a book. You're building up to that. That's 2 I've heard so far. I'm sure you have others.
More to come, man.
Yes. Well, tell me about the Rasta story in Nevis.
Well, Rastafari, as far as I know, started in 1974 when Watusi came back from St. Thomas. But when he came back, saying Rastafari, he didn't have no locks. He just had a afro and a little beard. And then he started the Liberty. But shortly after, a brother in one of the mills, related to the mill, some of Government Road, by the name of Rasquailai, he came along, but he was more advanced into the Rastafari than Watusi. But Watusi is who brought it really. So he, indirect, he came the elder dread, the big dread. And from there the Liberty started. It wasn't easy, as I said, but courage overcame adversity and it started spreading around the whole of Nevis. Up to today. He mightn't got the strength what he had yesterday today, but he's still around the whole of the island. Yeah. So after all this hostility and all the trial and tribulation, and still reaching such a milestone of 50 years, I think of something that we should commemorate it. But we're just saying commemorating that it's a twin celebration. While we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Rastafari's Liberty in Nevis, we are also commemorating the 94th anniversary of the crowning of His and Her Imperial Majesty. Haile
Selassie, King Rastafari.
Yes.
The first Rasta I met was in Zion from St. Kitts, Sato.
Yes.
And that's going way, way back to, it might be even before 1974.
73, 74.
Yes, and Sato used to be visited by people like Skinman. You know, that's, I'm a Zion man, so I go way back. I used to walk up the range by Sato. My brother Tumba used to be hanging around there with Sato and so on.
Skinman, he used to go to Kondo and they got Labo.
Yes,
Correct. The three of them are brothers.
Correct. And very quiet. Didn't interfere with people, did their own thing.
Yeah.
But people hung around and the word spread and the Rastafarianism spread. We have Rastas in every single village in Nevis now. And not to talk about St. Kitts. So tell me, what are some of the things that you'll be doing during the celebrations?
Celebration as usual. We'll start with prayers and ices. And we'll welcome forward the people. After that, you'll get a profile of His and Her Imperial Majesty. Then Suti would come in and give some remarks. Then if we're billing, we can just get elders. So Marcus Youths would come in and give a presentation. Jabba would come give a presentation. We're supposed to have a live band, live instruments by Snowflakes and company. Supposed to have 1 or 2 artists from St. Kitts. We're supposed to have Shiloh, reggae artists. We're supposed to have City and Jungle. Supposed to have each youth doing a poem. Supposed to have Jabal making a presentation. So I myself will be doing a poem. Then we will have Black Circles drummers doing some drumming. That's Bingy connected. Yeah.
Then we would pause for refreshment. Then we got reflection from the elders. Because we hope to have the first Rastaman between St. Kitts Nevis, Elder Rubble, and the scene. So we just like a little reflection, let some of the people know what it was really like to reach this far.
And we got to look at some of those, because it wasn't easy being a Rasta. Just the sight of a Rasta man with dreadlocks, people seem to get intimidated and think that it could contaminate other people. For years, Rastas were not welcomed in the BVI, for example.
What I saying, they just never overstand man. Because Rasta, with no disrespect, was something accepted. Christianity was given to us. If you all understand, Rasta, and the way we captivate all part of society in such a quick time, you let it shake the whole world. Because look at all these things, and we make a big difference in the world today in every aspect. As we say, before, if let's say our four parents and so, if they are thinking about going somewhere from next to their home, they just say hang land. Because they had us controlled. When I come and start talking about black to Africa, most people take it as crazy thing. When we talk about black starlight and I say we want to go home, they take it as just joke. But look today, as I said, they got committee about reparation and repatriation. They got straight flight in the Caribbean to Africa. The Caribbean and do business with the African banks. All of these are things will start from Rastafari. Because we had to show the people who we really are, and to show the people who we really are, that we are the creators of civilization. We are the people who are supposed to be dominant and not be led. Because from the beginning, we are the leaders. So when the other people realize, well, these people look like he got some dominance in this part of the world, the only thing was to do is to fight. And you know, everything in the system is a hand down. So if America saying no good, Nevis got to say no good.
We have people in all strata of society nowadays who are dreadlocks. I'm not going to say they are Rasta. Let's say they are sporting dreadlocks. It wasn't like that. It was not accepted as much as, say, even 20 years ago. You have judges, lawyers, doctors, everybody wearing dreadlocks nowadays. Yeah. But the sight of dreadlocks years ago seemed to put fear in the hearts of a lot of people. So Rastas, finally, dreadlocks. The needle has moved a little bit.
What Ayman say about that?
Yeah. to high. But look.
Let me hear from Ayman, man. He's quiet.
Give thanks. And just like to look at this aspect from what you raised, Brother Carlisle, and outline that even though you said the needle have moved a little, you still have a lot to give thanks for. But all in all, there is a lot of dialogue need to emphasize, because I in particular can look at relevance, a problem that still impact into society as how you outline. Well, I hear my here like is a living that not just given, is something that is in the born in aspect of Rastafari, born from within an ancient life. So I know that we are not something that have a carbon copy or something that having belief, but some infiltration have taken to Rastafari, and we won't fear to admit this, because we see it penetrated right now, as you just outlined, the kind of fashion follow monkey. That's what the song where Bonnie Wailer sing, and some things are very distorted towards how Rastafari really hold the elements of life living. We don't say Farian, or ism, but I heard you make the reference, and it's good to let you ones and ones of the general public know. It's Rastafari, not Farian or ism, but in aspect, some people have Rastafari to look at as a religion. It's not. It's a way of life, but we respect our people wherever we are.
Let's get to the issue of the weed, the holy weed, because we have had some token measures being taken. And I say token because a couple music festivals ago, they created an area and said, if you want to smoke, you can smoke in this area. But I don't know that it is possible to say, physically be in this area to smoke, and we're going to trap the smoke in this area. It made absolutely no sense to me. Because you smoke here, and Dr. Daly over there not smoking, but he getting a little higher for the weed. And
he getting a meditation.
Meditation. so listen, it has been a challenge. People used to be locked up for a little spliff, but they were free to smoke tobacco in the place. They were free to drink up the rum and get drunk. And this is sacred, considered sacred by the Rastas.
I will let Muntu emphasize first, because as an elder in this stand for those years, he can give a premises of what the herb as daytime in the old age utilized to know what we see in this time, how we see youth. And I will put some emphasis on a statement you just clarify on. So Muntu.
Yeah. Well, I smoking weed from 1974 from Watusi Combat Nevis. But to smoke weed from 74 up to, let's say, about 1990, 95 was a very risky thing. You could be like, let's say you buy the park and you want to smoke, you find yourself and go down by the bay and them things. Yeah. But then after 86 when I went to Antigua and I realized how people smoke, I wasn't disrespectful, but just that to me I ain't doing nothing wrong, so I scarcely used to hide the smoke weed. Yeah, I wasn't getting no benefit from it, because I don't really know weed seller, so I didn't see the harassment. So since it's no gainful thing for me, I didn't make no sense, because I ain't gonna tell you they no one smell, I ain't think they move from there. I ain't no health thing, I respect people and their health. All them things you went through. You go, police come take away a little joint from you. Next thing the man charge you some money you never count in your life.
Big charges.
Yeah. But the weed right now, it kind of easier to smoke. But up front you get more disrespectful. See what I'm saying? Because you just find all the hideouts who were afraid yesterday, who bought a joint, going around the people business place then, who ain't doing nothing to do with weed, and standing up and seeing them right in front of the people place and blocking the people business and surviving the way it should.
I got you. But there has been some token easement.
No, I will correct you on that, Brother Carlisle. And what I said no, I'm sitting right now on the licensing authority that was established by this new administration. And we are being far from the real truth when it comes to our people initially knowing what to do within this industry. We just like to say the herb is a healing, is a holistic healing. It encompasses with all kind of, it is to relieve ailment, cataracts, and all other things that we have found in deadly disease, especially cancer. And we can recall when you all had that launch on the discussion of herb right over in the Red Cross building. That's when Brother Parry was the leader of the NRP at that time.
Correct.
And he had a sister stand in the midst of that conversation and outlined that she had stage 4 cancer. And she would try all kind of remedy to outline that disease, and it was not possible to bring that relief. And one of her friends told her, you should try herb, which in the remnants was hemp. And she said, hemp, I know heard about that. And when she started doing her studies, she realized the relief and other aspects that hemp have brought into fighting cancer. And she started using the hemp oil. And she get breakdown of all that stage 4 that she had in her, and was relieved from cancer. Well, if we can see these things come to a permanent of our people at this time, we imagine for what the Rastafarian was doing in the early time, relieving themselves from deadly diseases. But the only thing we was finding that we was taught that we were using a dangerous drug, and to this day we're seeing it. That's why I said no. The whole world need to come and apologize and remove that drug act from the world affairs when it comes to narcotic drug agency. And we're talking about the Americans and all those other agents who complex and fight herb wherever they be. Because Russia in its own have a terrible act against herb. Even Thailand, we can't be making deal with these kind of people when they got some kind of things against the natural plant, and then we are say we are doing things for the international partners. We gotta be real. Well, so that's why I say we're still far off from studying how we need to deal with the herb, because a lot of people in society ain't properly educated when it comes to the use of herb.
You know you don't got to come back, right?
Well,
Because
we
only have half an hour tonight, and we don't run through the time. So Ali gonna got to come back.
Yeah, we can't,
because we got
got
to
it.
talk about not just Rasta. We got to talk about things affecting Rasta. We got to talk about herb and how slowly we are moving the needle towards getting the industry going, and whether or not there will be a carve out for the fellows who used to get harassed for so many years.
That
and
is
lock
something.
up and all kind of things.
That is something
You know?
that need to really bring on the bone, because when we have established the commission under the farm administration in 2017, which I was a part of that opening bearing, I find a lot of things have been missed within ways that means that we can bring to our people and the public assure to know how to deal with information sharing to the vital of what herb can do and what it is that means that we can insert, because it's not just smoking, there's other aspect the herb is vital on. And I realize the minister for the federal minister, when they launched the 420 friendly, they did something wrong, because we not just look for smoke, we have to look for vital avenues that retain what the herb can bring. We could have got like shoes, things that create from the herb, like plastic that can create from the herb. We can have other textile that can be a vital part in our construction industry, but we don't look at those kind of methods because we're only looking for what the European market and the American market bring to our shores. Give thanks.
Give thanks, man. Listen, all you got to come back. All you got to come back. We got to talk some more about Rasta, because it's not something which is hidden like 50 years ago. It is right there out in the open, and we have to, go ahead with the prayer.
Yes, give thanks. I would like to chant this psalms here, and His Majesty chant this psalm on the 1930, the 2nd of November, at the grand coronation that will be partaking with the 50 years of the Nevis Rastafari movement. We like to say the grand coronation of His and Our Imperial Majesty. It was chanted by His Majesty Haile Selassie I. And I will sing of mercy and judgment unto you, Haile Selassie, and I will sing. And I bear thyself wise in a perfect way. Or when thou come unto I, and I walk within thy house with a perfect heart. And I set no wicked thing before thy eyes. I hate the works of them that turn aside. He shall not cleave unto I. A forward heart shall depart from I am not now a wicked person. Whosoever live in this land is neighbor. He will I not cut off. He that have a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. And thy eyes shall be upon the faithful land, that they may do I. He that walk in a perfect way shall serve I. He that worketh deceit shall not do it in thy house. He that telleth lies shall not chide in thy sight. I shall destroy all the wicked of the land, and cut off all the evildoers from the city of the living I. Hail I, Selassie I, King Rastafari, Empress Meninai, great ancestors I, great gods and goddesses of the ancient black eternal race. As Muntu allude in his poem, we are people of an ancient civilization. We didn't come here in chain of a history. We were brought in chain of mental slavery, so we have to know our identity as an African people, because we neither Kittitian nor Nevision nor Antiguan. These are European gangsters' name, that they're primitive and our people, just because they want us to be separated and divided. Give thanks.
Give thanks, brethren.
Tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need. Tell me if I'm good enough for you, good enough for you. Tell me what you need, Denny. Tell me if I'm good enough for you, good enough for you, baby, yeah. Tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need, Denny. Tell me if I'm good enough for you, good enough for you, baby. But girl, tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need, Denny. Tell me if I'm good enough for you, good enough for you, baby, yeah. Tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need, Denny. Tell me if I'm good enough. And young folks are Christmas. Dreadlocks and ballets and dreadlocks. Then the old laps of calling, tra la 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 la. Lick the pipe and let the ivory tra la 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 la. Rock the Christmas, tra la 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 la. The season to be iron, tra la 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 la.
Welcome back to Tell Me, and I'm a full Rasta now. full Rasta.
Ballad Rasta.
Yeah, never was a dreadlocks, just a Rasta. Dr. Daly, we have some serious matters to deal with tonight, but let me start by saying that the St. George's breakfast, which was scheduled for this week Saturday, has been postponed until next week Saturday. They have a funeral which they have to attend. I think that's the funeral of Francisca Powell Webb, which will be held this week Saturday. So they will postpone that until next week. And also, we have the passing of Edric W. Stanley, who once ran on an NRP ticket, and he passed away yesterday. And so we have to note that he was very heavily involved in radio in Nevis and heavily involved in the politics as well. I noticed that the Premier said some kind words about him. Said he was one of his advisors. Edric always wanted to make you believe he was neutral. He was very neutrally blue, but we mourn his passing, and we'll say more about that at another time. Those are what I have. Yeah. Oh, Olive Brown. Olive Brown is the grandmother of Devante for Bernadette from Craddock Road. So Olive Brown passed away, and so we want to reach out. Devante is my assistant coach. Every interprimary he comes and does excellent work with Nevis Academy. So I want to reach out and give condolences to Devante and wish him strength and wish him well as well. Couple of things which are on the agenda which we want to get to tonight. And we did say that we're going to close the phone lines for the first part of it. We want to also have you stay with us, but give us a little chance so we can get into a couple of things in the meantime. Dr. Daly, the Premier, had his press conference. He has also returned from overseas. He soon go again because he can't stay home too long. So we have no idea where he will go to next. I'm thinking that he is going to go either to New Zealand or Australia, somewhere far, because he like to do one short and one long. But he's here. I don't know if you were able to listen to any of the press conference, but let me start by playing this piece, not from the press conference.
Then they drove me past the hospital. I said, my God. The hospital? Modern high-rise building in an island 21 square miles.
He said, my God. I wanted to say something using stronger language, because this is the Minister of Finance. This is a man who has been at all material times the senior minister in the Ministry of Health. This is a man who has been struggling with the hospital here in Nevis. An extension. He's saying, my God, about a high-rise extension. And what we have here, 2 floors. And this puppy show can't get 2 floors completed. But he's wowed, my God, about a high-rise hospital. Hey boy, if you can't get 2 floors completed, how the hell you going to get high-rise? And he's looking, maybe it's the first time he ever saw a high-rise building. All the places he has been, maybe he has been blindfolded. Because he seemed very taken by a high-rise building and he can't get a low-rise hospital finish.
What I found fascinating, besides his, exuberance at seeing a hospital, a modern hospital, is the fact that, for him as a Premier of Nevis and Minister of Health, to be so wowed by a hospital in Bermuda, while the hospital here in Nevis, which he is fighting with since 2017, an extension, by the way, it speaks to a lack of connectivity, a lack of conscience, that he can be so expressive to the successes of somebody else, while he has burdened us here in Nevis with this white elephant. A normal person would be quite, even quiet about the contrast, but he seems to want to celebrate the contrast as if he has nothing to do with the hospital here in Nevis being in the state of disrepair that it is. It is his baby. It started under him, and he has continued to prosecute the case for the hospital with no end in sight. And so the contrast is so severe. It's almost comical that, he's divorced himself from reality. That is not his fault. It's somebody else's fault. And this is a classic narcissistic attitude of people who never take responsibility for anything. And so a normal person would not be expressive and that in that way, knowing what they have back home is so bad. A normal person would be, let me just quietly acknowledge the beauty of the hospital in Bermuda or wherever else without being so, obvious about it. Because then you're telling me that you're divorced from reality. You're sticking your head in the sand and saying what happening here in Nevis has nothing to do with me and my administration. It has everything to do with you and your administration, Mr. Brantley. Every single thing. It is you. It's your government. All right? So everybody that read that, who commented on this post that the Premier made, this audio clip that's going around viral now, there's one single word that is used. One single word it is used. Is that he has no conscience. He has no conscience. And this is a problem that he's been trying to put on divisions, for them to accept mediocrity, for them to accept subpar. We saw the subpar years ago with the Mondo truck. We saw the subpar years ago with the Oli Pier, the police station in Newcastle. We saw the subpar all around. And he is continuing to try to make us accept, grown men and women with minds of their own, that subpar is normal. It is not. It is far from normal. And he will not get anybody to agree, well, anybody on the right side of history to agree that what he expressed was normal. It is not. It is abnormal, what he expressed.
Listen, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back in just a little while.
Pico, the way to go for residential, commercial, and industrial wiring, data, security, UPS, and generator installation. When you need electrical work done now, done right, done at an affordable price, contact Finney's Electrical Company. Call or WhatsApp 665-1916 or email pico_1166@yahoo.com. Pico, the
Do
way
you know what
to
you're
go.
drinking? If you are drinking plastic bottled water, chances are you're consuming plastic contaminants, BPA, and other hormone-disrupting chemicals you cannot see with your naked eye. Those empty plastic bottles take up to 450 years to decompose. In the meantime, plastic bottles are polluting the environment. They are dangerous to the planet and our health. The safer solution is to acquire your own Kangen alkaline water filtration system, and you will never have to buy toxic bottled water again. Help save the planet and drink clean water for less than the price you'll pay for acid plastic bottled water over the next few years. The Kangen technology is the world's most popular, most acquired water immunizer. For more information, you can call or WhatsApp us on 917-207-1307. That's 917-207-1307. Change your water, change your life.
You need, tell me if I'm good enough for you, good enough for you, baby. Yeah, yeah. Tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need.
Beanie Man, tell me what you want. It's 8:47 on a Thursday evening here in Charlestown in Nevis. So that was the premiere, being wowed by the Bermuda Hospital. And so quite naturally at his press conference today, he was asked about the hospital here in Nevis, and people want to know when will they start. Here is his response.
The hospital wing, you asked, do we have a start date? The answer is no. We have not yet announced a start date because we are still finalizing some matters in that regard. But as you know, Ms. Budgeon, we have the budget debates that we have scheduled for the 3rd to the 6th of December. And we are anticipating that at that point the Minister of Health will be able to make a fulsome report as to when we start and what we're going to do in relation to the hospital. You are, however, correct that in our budget estimates discussions we have highlighted one main capital project for next year, and that's the hospital. So that is our primary focus in the coming year, but I do not yet have a date that I can tell you on January 1 this is what's going to happen. I will leave that to the Minister of Health, who no doubt will spend some time on that in her budget address. If, of course, we get a date before and we have a start date and we're settled as to when that will happen, then certainly I will convey that to you. But the expectation at this point is that we will have a more fulsome report during the budget discussion.
Daily, we're in real serious problems. Here is the Premier of the island, who is the Senior Minister of Health, who made a bold statement recently that in 2025, the single project that the government will concentrate on is the hospital, and that there would be more details in the budget. Here is the Premier going to a press conference, and Lord of mercy, he ought to have known that the question of the hospital would come up, because it stands out in Nevis as the biggest failure for CCM and Mark Brantley. So people will always question the hospital. He's asked a question: do you have a start date for the hospital? And the answer is no. I mean, prepare yourself. You went down to Bermuda and say, wow, what a nice high rise. If I get sick, I'm going to go to Bermuda. That's what he's probably telling himself. And then you get asked about the hospital that was his signature project. That was supposed to be what people remembered him for. And so he's asked, do you have a start date? No. But he didn't just stop at no, He made his intentions clear. I am going to toss the junior minister under the bus. During the budget debate, she will have the details. She will come to you and she will explain during her presentation what we intend to do at the hospital. This is the same junior minister who lied to Parliament, who based on that ought not to have been a member of the cabinet, all now ought not to have been in government. But she is going to be the one who will be responsible for giving the details on this very important, very over budget, very long past due project. Listen, if I did not hear it for myself, I would say this is not real.
I think it's absurd, genuinely absurd, that at this point in our history, he's trying to now lay this at the feet of a minister who has not been active in any sense of the word regarding that project at the hospital. And so it's a bit disingenuous for him to say, okay, well, the junior minister is going to deal with it going forward. All right? It is just kicking the can down the road. It's unbecoming of a premier. You already know that persons will be asking questions regarding the hospital, any update. And, you know, for him just to simply say, I don't know. We're going to deal with it next year. Last year, he said we're going to deal with it this year. The year before that, he's going to say we're going to deal with it in 2023. And so it's simply a manifestation of more lies and more delays. And, you know, it's just a sad situation when you have the senior minister and the Premier of Nevis unable to really get a hand around or get a handle on this hospital project. Let me tell you something. And this is what a lot of people have been saying. A lot of people, experts from all over the world have been saying to the Premier, it's cheaper. It is cheaper to knock down what exists and build afresh with proper plans executed by proper authorities. But because of arrogance, because of political expediencies, he is refusing to go the cheaper route, which is to knock down the building. Is actually cheaper. And every report, every contributor, and we ain't talking about political contributors like myself or Carlisle. We are talking about people in the health and medical field, architects, etc., who are saying to this government, knock down that building and start afresh. It's cheaper than trying to retrofit and rebuild and reorganize what is there existing right now. This is a fact. But they're refusing to do it because, of course, they feel that it'll be a total political nightmare. But it's also a political nightmare.
As it is.
And an economic nightmare for Nevis to pay now 3 times as much to get what is there rectified than to start from scratch.
I want you to hear another one. This one I'll have to play from my phone, but we should get it going.
Say in relation to the hospital starting there.
Sorry, that's one of the dangers when you're playing for your phone. You get a phone call and it knocks you off. So I'm gonna have to start that one from scratch again. Let me try to go
Say
again.
in relation to the hospital starting there, that the Minister of Health, no doubt.
Problems. People I'm getting calls from all over the place at one time, and I don't want any of those calls now because I want to play something.
Some report during the budget discussions, which are scheduled for early December. Poor planning, poor design. We did have some issues in terms of the internal design at the hospital. The original work on the hospital was done by brand architectural firm, and we ultimately did have some issues in terms of the flow, internal flow. Nothing in relation to the quality of the building or anything, and we had engaged a firm in the US that has done that work for us. That was one of the reasons why we had a delay, because we reconfigured the interior of the hospital. But in terms of poor planning, I wouldn't say that is the case, no. Did we go out to bid? The answer was no. We opted to go with a local firm to do the design on the hospital. And as I said later, we went with another firm in the US to redesign the interior. Again, no bidding. We didn't do any bidding process on that. I don't think that we lost anything by that.
I think we're going to come back to that next week because the phone is just going off non-stop. But I think you get the gist of it. The Premier said they went with a local firm, Brands Architectural, no bidding. They didn't send it out to bids. He don't think that they lost anything by that. But I don't expect him to say anything else. The Premier said they had some problems with the internal flow. Nothing to do with the quality of the work. Well, Jesus Christ. If you build a road and you can't use the road because the road is taking you in the wrong direction, that's something to do with the quality of the work. The Premier wants us to believe that the quality of the work is excellent, but that the internal flow was wrong, and agreed not just by him, but instructed by people who they brought in to take a look at it. So, if the internal flow is wrong, and we know that is wrong because we have discussed it here on a multitude of occasions, they had to be breaking down walls inside the hospital, the new hospital. And even as they were breaking down internal walls, the Premier was busy painting the outside. Because he had to give the impression that everything was good. Daily, something is wrong with him.
He likes to split hairs, as you can tell. When he was questioned by a caller some time ago, he was adamant and very emphatic that no contract to design any hospital was given to the Honorable Spencer Brand, knowing fully well that he was being half a dozen of one, six of the next. Tomato. Basically because he knew the contract was given not to the Honorable Spencer Brand, but to the company owned by the Honorable Spencer Brand, Brand Architectural Services. But this is the games he plays. These are the games he plays, where he feels he can mama guy anybody at will. You know, but I'm glad he came forward and said there was no bidding. And the question then is why? You just can't drop a fact like that and say, well, there was no bidding and walk away. The tenders board, which is the law of the land, requires you to put out tenders regarding any government contract for anything. And unlike popular belief, there is no minimum value at which the contract must be worth. People are saying, oh, it has to be X amount of dollars. No. Any contract given to anybody, once government resources, public funds are being used, it must be put out to tender. And so here he is admitting for the first time, I don't know if he found religion in Bermuda or something, some kind of OBA person put something on him where he has to tell the truth or part of a truth. Because this is the first time without bids.
Mm-hmm.
The contract was handed to the candidate. And people need, let me slow down a bit because sometimes I get ahead of myself. A contract was issued by the CCM government to a member who was running on a ticket in St. Paul's for CCM, worth millions of dollars, to design a hospital that he had no skill sets in designing, no history of designing, no experience in designing, but it was handed to him on a silver platter, and people need to recognize the idiocy of that. This problem we are facing is directly related to that bad start, because persons in the industry, architects in this industry, that's all they do. They don't go do high rises or student dorms. They do hospitals. That's all they do. They're specialists, and this is what you do when you're trying to do proper work and getting a hospital designed. But they made sure that one of them, and a candidate no less, was given the opportunity to reap over $1 million in fees for hospital design that cannot be used. That the world is saying, tear it down, tear it down, tear it down. And he's refusing to tear it down because, of course, of pure ignorance and bad mind and spite for the people of Nevis.
It's shocking. Very, very shocking, because we have been talking about this hospital and the absolute fiasco How can you, with a hospital that is in trouble, put the most junior member of your staff to be the minister responsible for that project?
Insulting.
With no experience?
Insulting. Totally insulting. Totally insulting. And I've said before, and I keep saying, you cannot put a square peg in a round hole and expect it to fit. In these types of highly technical positions, you have to have highly skilled people who can direct policy, who can craft policy, who can lead with distinction to make sure we get value for money, to make sure we get a program that's comprehensive and progressive. You can't see this happening with this union minister.
No.
You can't see it by any stretch of the imagination. No matter how you try to maneuver or to shape the argument, it is a terrible fit. The premier knew this going in, but he went ahead anyway. He did this without deliberating with his other cabinet ministers. I understand that's what exactly what happened. The young lady showed up. Hey, this is your new junior minister. And look what we're going to put her in health. Absurd. Totally absurd. And so we are struggling now with this absurdity of the extension of the hospital and the further absurdity and insult to the people, the intelligence of Nevisians with this minister who is out of a depth.
Dr. Daly, I have a strange suggestion. First time that I'm making this suggestion. I'm just getting some very, very upsetting news, which all this stuff that I have on my screen that we have to deal with tonight, it just throw me completely off. I'm suggesting that we cut the show short tonight. This is the kind of news I didn't want to hear. And it's more than a little troubling for me. But I'm getting news of the passing of somebody who I consider a very close friend. And it's troubling. So I don't know if I can function for the rest of the show in as much as I want to function. Okay? So, but let me take this telephone call because it's somebody who normally speaks to us about health. Hi, good evening, caller.
Carlisle and Dave, good evening. How are we all doing?
Not so good. I'm normally top, but I'm not great tonight.
Neither am I. I'm still processing. Anyway, the clip you played there is very telling. The clip you played by Mark Brantley. Because as I understand, he's saying that nothing was sent out to bid. So the design of the hospital was not sent out to bid. Neither the contract to build the hospital was sent out to bid. So how does he know if he was getting fair value for the people of Nevis?
He doesn't.
That's one question. Two, does he really understand who this project affects? Because we're 70 years in, and of course the recommendation is to tear down and rebuild. And God knows how long it will take again to get this done properly. So ultimately, the people of Nevis suffers. That's all I'll say for now.
Thank you very much. Listen, we'll come back to this next week. I don't know if Daly agreed with me, but
no, it's kind of destabilizing.
Yeah.
Well, I think we owe it to the listeners to inform them what we are hearing. I think we have now been able to confirm that our dear friend and colleague Hastings Daniel has passed. It is indeed terribly shocking and almost unbelievable. He would have been with me last week Saturday on my show on Target,
and I enjoyed the presentation.
Yes, he is ever ready to come in and give a hand, and it's just a body blow that we are all feeling, and it is almost unbelievable, the emotions that are now rampaging through our bodies, our minds. And of course, we would have buried his wife just last week, the following week before that, it is just an awful situation to be in. I don't think that I've ever been in a position like this where you simply cannot function because he was so close to us and so dear to us.
We sat down and worked out exactly when he was going to come and tell me. You know, I told him, Hastings, you know, we always open the door when you ring the bell. He said, but yeah, I missed the anniversary show, so I have to make up. And we sat down and worked out exactly when he was going to come and so on. And he's the brother of Hensley, also brother of Dr. Theodore Daniel, who was my classmate. All the Daniel family members and I get along very well. Hastings was my neighbor, was my good friend.
And they were just here.
They were just here. You know, so listen, when I tell you that not a lot of things knock me off easily, I mean it, but this one has completely thrown me off. I don't have words for the rest of the show tonight. So we're going to take an early break, listeners. We're going to come back. And when we come back next week, we'll have, of course, tributes to Hastings and so on. But sorry for cutting the night short. All of you who are out there and who are great fans of Tell Me. It's the first time in 1,003 shows that we have ever cut the show short. And we hope that you will understand that I'm just not in the mood to be talking politics tonight with the passing of Hastings Daniel. So we'll be back next week. Until then, be good and take care of yourselves.
Tell me what you want.